Hey guys, I'm Russell, the Weekend Adventurer. Today we're going to go through absolutely everything that I carry in my backpack. I've used a scale, I've weighed it all out, and yeah, I think you'll be interested to see what I carry. So let's go check it out. First up is my pot. It's a Tech Sport pot. It's actually not my favorite pot, but it's not bad either. So I picked it up at Walmart for super cheap. It came with a full kit, but this is really the only piece I use. I like wide bottom pots because my stove works really well with them. And also, this is wide enough on the inside that you can cook pancakes and that type of thing in them. It's got a no-stick lining, which I take it or leave it. I don't really care. It's nice that it has its own handle that you can fold up. What I really like in a pot, though, and my favorite was an old MSR stainless steel set that I had. I actually gave it away to some Boy Scouts. But what I like in a pot is to have the top double as a frying pan. Now this one, not a chance. Now it is nice that you don't need a pot holder, and the MSR one did need a pot holder. But you know what? Serves my purposes, works fine. And that's 10 ounces. I don't know if I said that. Alright, next up is my pot cozy. I made that to cook in. Works really great, especially if you're eating right out of your pot there. It's really nice to have the pot cozy, or if you're cooking rice or something that takes a while. It's really useful to have on the trail for making your cooking more efficient and more versatile. Guys, you don't need to have one of these. I bring it because I don't like always eating out of my pot there, and sometimes for versatility you can mix up sauces and whatnot in a bowl. And so I have a Lexan bowl. It is, let's see here, Lexan bowl, 1.5 ounces. Not bad, not needed, but I really enjoy having it. It makes my cooking a lot more diverse. Next up, just tin foil. That's my windscreen. That's half an ounce, no big deal. Lighter, half an ounce. My company's on there, BG. And next up is my stove. This is a stove that you can either make from some directions on my website, or Tinny from Mini Bowl Design makes a really awesome stove. Way better quality than this. This is really all that I could put out. But anyway, it's a great stove. 1 ounce, cooks great, has a really fast boiling time, great stove. When it comes to fuel storage, it really depends on how long you're going to be out. If you're going to be out for only a weekend, I suggest just taking some squeeze bottles like this. These guys are half an ounce a piece, and they hold 3.5 ounces of alcohol. They're perfect for a long weekend. When I cook, I use about 1 ounce of alcohol per meal to boil my water and do whatever I need. The reason I use such low amounts of fuel is really due back to the pot cozy. The pot cozy makes everything cooking so efficient. As soon as I get it up to a boil, I can blow out my stove, and that's the end of it. If I'm on a longer hike, I'll bring one of these guys. This is my old SIG. It is a great tool. You can beat the snot out of it, and it just keeps on going. So, great SIG. The SIG weighs about 5.2 ounces, and that includes the special top that I have here, special sport pour spout. But yeah, I used to use this with my MSR Whisper Light, and that's kind of part of the reason it's so beat up. But it's a trusty thing, and I really like having it along on the longer hikes. This guy here will last me a little over a week, so that's, I don't know, I've never taken it, I never let it go beyond that low. So, but in a week, that's more than enough. I really should have a better feeling of how much it holds, but I don't. So anyway, that's what I do for my cook set. That's all of it right there. And it's not the lightest, but I find it very diverse. I love cooking on the trail, and so for me, this is a great fit as far as a cook set. Everybody's different on how their gear is, and so you really need to tailor your gear to your personality. I love food, So this is what I carry. Total cook weight for a long weekend, 1 pound, 5 ounces. That's including fuel, including stove, including everything. So here's my sleeping bag. It's inside this. It came with the stuff sack, but I just tossed that and replaced it here with a Granite Gear stuff sack. I also stuff all my clothes in the same, my clean clothes in the same bag, and except for a sweater or something that I always have handy to throw on, and a wool hat. But yeah, it works pretty good. Keeps everything dry. My sleeping bag is just a regular 40 degree sleeping bag. It's 2 pounds. The Granite Gear stuff sack there, what is that, 7 ounces? Let's see. No, I'm sorry, it's 3 ounces. Yeah, 7 ounces would be a lot for that. So it's 3 ounces, and it carries everything I need to and keeps everything pretty dry. Then I go with the Z-Lite rest. The reason I go with a open cell foam rest is because I sleep on the ground, and I don't use a tent, so a lot of the times I'm just out there, and I've punctured a bunch of pads before. So this is what I've decided is the cheapest, lightest, and most efficient way for me to sleep safely. And those Ridge Rest, Z-Rest things are 14 ounces. Onto my, this is actually not what I would consider a piece of medical gear. That's my bivy sack. It's an emergency bivy sack, and I use it as my ground cloth. It's, there we go, made by Thermolite. It's really nice. It really does a great job. The best thing about it is obviously you're using it as your ground cloth, and I sleep under a tarp. And so let's say it just starts raining, not just sideways, but upside down. You can climb in there if the tarp's not cutting it, and at least stay somewhat dry as the torrential rains come down about you. So really great, useful piece of gear. And also on a cold night, you know, I only use a 40 degree bag. On a cold night, that's going to add an extra 10 degrees or so to your backpack. I'm sorry, to your sleeping bag. So nice piece of gear. And last, I don't know if you count this as part of the sleeping gear. Oh, by the way, this was, let's look it up over there. This was 7 ounces. 7 ounces for my bivy sack. This last piece of gear here is my poncho right there, and so that's my rain gear. As well as, you can see the stakes are in here and some ropes. This is my poncho and tarp tent setup. So this is basically my tent. Great nice piece of gear, and also doubles as my tent. So you can see there's carabiners, there's plenty of rope in here to set it all up with, and this whole sack there with everything good to go is 1 pound 4 ounces. So it would be kind of heavy, except that it doubles as my rain gear, so I feel like it's well worth it. And that, my friends, is my sleep system.